Section 2. Contract terms and schedules. There are always terms and conditions in every contract that must be respected and adhered to. In this section, we will look at some of these contract terms and schedules. At the end of the section, you should be able to understand contract terms, standard contract, model form contract, and contract schedule. Contract terms are statements by the parties to the contract as to what they understand their rights and obligations to be under the contract. They define the content of the offer, which becomes binding once accepted by the other party. Terms can be expressly or explicitly inserted into a contract by either or both of the parties. All can be implied or assumed to be included in the contract because they are recognized part of the law. Express terms are clearly stated and recognized in the contract between the parties. The most common examples of express terms would be where the parties specify the price, the delivery date, how carriage and insurance costs will be shared, and so on. Another example of an express term is an exclusion or exemption clause, which states that one party will not be liable or will have only special circumstances in which a party will not be liable for failure to fulfill its contract obligations. Implied terms, on the other hand, are terms which are assumed to exist by virtue of common law and statute and therefore forms part of the contract, whether or not they are mentioned in the document or the contract signed. Standard contracts. Standard contracts are contracts where one party sets the terms and conditions of the contract and the other party has little or no ability to negotiate more favorable terms, or the other party has little or no ability to change the terms. It's a standard something that has been there. You don't come and expect us to change it to favor you because this is the same contract, this same standard contract that we are going to use for other contracts with other people. Usually, where an organization has recurring dealings with a supplier or recurring requirements for a product or service, it may develop its own standard contracts for use in particular types of dealings. For example, a publisher might have a standard contract for authors, another for printers, another covering sale of book distributors, and another for the sale to bookshops. Each standard contract would incorporate standard terms and conditions which have proved acceptable and workable in each type of contractual relationship in the past. A supplier or buyer could accept the contract as it stands or negotiate to very specific terms. You can't change or negotiate the whole contract. You can only negotiate some specific terms of the contract. We also have model form contracts. Model form contracts are contracts published by third-party experts, incorporating standard practice in contracting for specific purposes within specific industries and ensuring a fair balance of contractual rights and responsibilities for buyer and the sellers. So, for example, SIPS publishes a range of model form contracts and contractual clauses which members are licensed to use in support of their employment. So, as an organization that identifies as part or a member of a body or an association, these associations or these bodies publish certain contracts. So, if you're a member of such a body, you can just adopt their contract, the model they've set, they've designed, instead of just sitting down and coming up with your own contract agreement, having to think, paying people to do the whole thing for you and all that. So the model form contracts are contracts that are published by third-party experts in their field or in your area. And as a member of such a body or such party, you can just go adopt the contract and use. Contract schedules. A contract schedule is a schedule that forms part of the contract, which gives or shows details of particular matters or specific matters referred to in the contract document, which is signed and agreed on by both parties to the contract. So the schedule is not necessarily a part of the contract. However, it is attached to the contract document, the signed contract document, to give some details or specific matters referred to in the document. So for instance, you can have a document and in reading the contract document, you get to a point where they say See appendix for details. You realize the appendix is not part of the contract. However, it is there to give some specific details to certain terms in the contract. It's there for us to understand some terms better, some terms stated in the contract better. In legal contracts, the term addendum or appendix or annex is used for an additional document not included in the main part of the contract but referred to within it, which may contain additional terms, specifications, provisions, standard forms, or other information. Addenda are often used in standard form contracts. In the same way that appendices are used in formal reports to make changes to or more specific details, cross-reference to specific clauses in the contract which modified or clarified. By way of summary, we have explained contract terms and schedules. We also looked at standard contracts and model form contracts. Thank you.